I know I'm a little late to this tag, but I think it's really fun to do, so I still wanted to do it, despite being a little bit late. Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Readaholic. My name is Silke, and today I will be doing the the mid-year freakout tag. It's not mid-year anymore, but I was on a little bit of a hiatus when we were all doing this trend, I think, or this tag as we normally do. I don't know, actually, I haven't seen any yet. Anyways, I still really wanted to do it because I feel like it's a good way to kind of wrap up like half of the year, like how your reading has been so far. So the first question is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2025? And that's a little bit difficult for me to answer because I've read a lot of really good books. But I think for this, I'm gonna go with Roswell Johnson Saves the World by Chris Colfer. I love Chris Colfer. I don't know what he would write that I wouldn't like. Hopefully I'll never find out. But I really love this, and I think that this is my favorite book of the year so far. But as I've said, it's honestly really hard because I've read so many good books. But I put some of them in the next question, which is what has been your favorite sequel of the first half of the year. All of the sequels, the 2 sequels to Kingdom of the Wicked, loved it. Loved that series as a whole. It's brilliant. What else? Like the sequel to City of Nightmares, so Cage of Dreams, was phenomenal. Obviously Onyx Storm, which I read in the beginning of the year, I think. To be fair, all of the sequels that I've read this year have been really, really good. But the one that really stood out to me is Foul Heart Huntsman by Chloe Gong. This book gave me so many things I didn't even know I needed, and I cried a little bit upon reading it. I was shooketh many times. It was really good. I highly recommend reading These Violent Delights and then following it up with reading Foul Lady Fortune, which this is a sequel of. So, is there a new release you haven't read yet? Yes, there's a couple. I do still have my Fairly subscription, so I do get those. We actually just got one. Let me just grab it. That I'm super excited for. So we actually just got this one, which is the Nightblood Prince by Molly X. Chang. And I am so excited for this one. Definitely one of the books that I want to prioritize for the end of the year. I believe that it is something to do with fate, and then there is a love triangle, or not necessarily a triangle, but there is some romance between 2 different guys, and both of them are princes of their own like kingdoms and such. So I'm super excited for this one. And honestly, it is probably one of the most stunning books that I own. Fairly really outdid themselves with this one. I fucking love it. What is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? I have to be completely honest here. I have not been keeping track of any new releases whatsoever. I've been focusing a lot on finishing the books that I already have on my shelf, so try to not look too much into new releases. So I don't have anything specific. I know that there is supposedly a Moana Twisted Tale coming out soon. That sounds really cool. I like Moana. I don't know what the premise is supposed to be for that one, but definitely sounds cool and definitely sounds like something I would want to read, but I don't have anyone where I'm like waiting desperately for it. I rarely have that unless it's like Chris Colfer, Chloe Gong, one of my favorites. That being said, if any of them actually do have new releases coming out soon, that would be so embarrassing, but I don't think they do. What is your biggest disappointment so far? I don't know. What have I even read? One second. You know what? I'm gonna say These Hollow Vows. I don't have it here. I put it in my at my shelves at my parents' place. But I'm gonna say These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. Not that I didn't like it, because I did. I ended up giving it 3 stars, but I had expected it to be a 5-star. It sounded like something that I would really, really love, and it was really good. But I think I had higher expectations of it. What did I give the second one? Hold on. These Twisted Bonds, I gave that 4 stars. But still, I had expected the series as a whole to be a 5-star. So I think that was my biggest disappointment. But overall, I've had a really good reading year. I haven't had anything under a 3-star. So that is good. What is your biggest surprise so far? What is my biggest surprise? I'm going back in. My biggest surprise of the year. My biggest surprise of the year is Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. I read this because my game told me so. I think it was a jar pick maybe, I don't remember. And I actually ended up really enjoying it. It was a 4-star, but I really liked the whole, sirens and all of that going on in this book. So I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't a book that I had gravitated towards. It wasn't one that I was thinking, oh, I need to read that soon. It was just a book that I had on my shelf and I had gotten because of Fairy Loot. So it wasn't even one that I had picked up myself, but luckily, most of the time, the Fairy Loot books that I get are some that I actually really enjoy. I think a majority of the ones that I have read has been books that I've ended up loving. But I do still have a lot of Fairy Loot books that I haven't read yet. So, a book that made you cry. Well, Roswell Johnson made me cry. Fellheart Huntsman made me cry. What else made me cry? Let me just have a little browse. I don't think that there was that many books that actually made me cry. Well, if it had to be something that is not already here, I would actually say this one, The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. It was so cute. And there was this one scene, very small, very... didn't really mean anything to the entirety of the story, but there's this one scene where she is talking to a witch about a potion, a luck potion, and in return for the luck potion, the witch wants her fortune read. Just a small fortune, because that is what our main character Tao does. So she reads, or she tries to read her fortune, but nothing comes up. And then the witch tells her afterwards when she said, "I'm so sorry, but I can't see anything." And then the witch tells her about her illness and that it's a slow but tough illness. So by not having any small fortunes left, she knows that her time is up. And honestly, that made me bawl out my eyes. But there's just so many moments in this book as a whole that is very emotional and definitely made me tear up a little bit. So and also made me smile. When I was reading it, I was like this, which doesn't happen a whole lot, but yes. So I think I would choose that for a book that made me cry, but I would also choose it for a book that made you happy, because it is so sweet and so cozy, and the moments in it are very heartwarming. Some are sad, like the one that I told you before. Definitely a sad moment, but there's so many other cute, heartwarming moments that definitely made me smile and made me really happy and warm and fuzzy. But, I also reread Coraline. So that made me happy as well. What books do you want to read by the end of the year? So I've already mentioned the Nightblood Prince that I showed you, the beautiful book that I really want to read. What else do I have? I want to finish The Hunger Games, all of them. So I'm currently reading Mockingjay as a filming. Definitely need to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is that what it's called? And then Sunrise on the Reaping? Off the Reaping. I don't remember. But those two. I also really want to finish This Shelf Behind Me which consists of authors that I really, really love. So we have like Kristen Kajor and such on here. I think I only have 2 Trisha Levenseller books left on here to read. Yeah, I have The Darkness Within Us. I also have Daughter of the Pirate King and The Shadows Between Us. So I really need to, or really want to finish those. I also want to reread Throne of Glass and continue with that series, but I might do that towards the end of the year. So it will be maybe one of the last things I do or the first thing I do of 2026 because I need the rest of the books. Also, I want to, let me just move this. I want to read An Ember in the Ashes and finish that series because I've only heard good things about it. And I'm halfway in it and I am going to reread it because like I need to. But I've only heard good things and I want to finish it. Simple as that. So there's a lot of books that I want to read before the end of the year. Preferably, I would read every single book on my shelf before the end of the year, but that is not possible. So I'm tackling like each shelf at a time. And currently this shelf right here, which is the favorite authors, and this shelf right here, which is Desert Fantasies. And then I have one over here. I don't know if you can actually see it, but that is my Chloe Gong shelf. Those 3 are definitely the priorities. And they will also be done soon because I have 1 left here, 3 left here, and what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5? Do I have 5 left on that shelf? Yeah, I have 5 left on the shelf. So I think it's manageable. 9 books? That is actually very manageable. Interesting. So, that was my mid-year freakout tag. Did I even say what tag I was going to do or did I just do it? You knew from the title. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment telling me what your favorite book of 2025 so far has been. If you just want to let me know that you're here, but don't know what to comment, please leave any type of cake or tea or coffee emoji. Because I'm hungry. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and until I see you next time,